so look, we back for the second time, definitely not the last time. For anyone who thought that this was just like a little, you know, a thing that we were doing,
Yeah, no, it's not that.
it is a thing. It is a thing.
A
This
thing.
is State Your Claim. My name is Gatsby,
I'm Royal Rel.
and thank you for tuning back in with us. So hope you appreciate it, enjoyed, the first episode, CDG Universe. If you haven't seen that, you definitely can go and check that out. Go to the page, make sure you like and subscribe when you hit
Please.
that YouTube link, please. And make sure that you comment, let us know what you're thinking. Let us know, again, those topics that you want to hear. Um, we're open to it. Not saying we're going to do everything that you mentioned, but we open to it. You know what I mean? But this is a really exciting episode for us both because obviously we're talking about sneakers and fashion. We're talking about not just the clothes, not just the shoes, but again, the people behind it. And, Royal, we've been talking for a long time about who's the next this, who's the next that,
All
right?
right.
Well, I got a question for you. Who's the next Nigo?
I don't want to get on that yet. I don't want to get into that just yet. I think it's only fair for the people. I'm pretty sure some of our audience knows who Nigo is, and then I'm pretty sure some of them don't. So I think it's only fair that we give them a little background on Nigo, and then
Hmm.
we get to that question. How you feel
Okay.
about that?
Let's do that. Let's do that. Let them find out about Nigo. Let's do it.
Yeah, man, roll the footage.
Born Tomoaki Nago in 1970 in Gunma, Japan, Nigo developed an early fascination with American pop culture, fashion, and hip-hop. Influenced by films like Star Wars and the music of artists such as LL Cool J, he immersed himself in the aesthetics of US street culture from a young age. By 16, Nigo was already spinning records, adopting the style and sensibilities of American hip-hop artists that would later define his creative vision. He went on to attend Bunka Fashion College in Tokyo, where he met Jun Takahashi, the future founder of Undercover, a pivotal connection in Japanese streetwear history. In 1993, Nigo and Takahashi opened the Harajuku Boutique Nowhere, a cultural hub that quickly became ground zero for Tokyo's street fashion movement. Soon after, Nigo launched a bathing ape Bape, a brand named as a playful reference to Planet of the Apes and a Japanese idiom about overindulgence. His nickname, Nigo, meaning number two, was given to him as a nod to his role as an apprentice to streetwear pioneer Hiroshi Fujiwara. Nigo revolutionized fashion marketing by pioneering artificial scarcity, initially producing just 50 t-shirts per week and selling them exclusively through his own store. This strategy created unprecedented hype. Iconic designs like Bape Camouflage, the Shark Hoodie, Bape Da Sneaker, released in 2002, became global streetwear staples. Collaborations with Pharrell Williams and Kanye West propelled Bape to massive popularity in the US during the early 2000s, cementing its international influence. After stepping away from Bape in the early 2010s, Nigo continued to shape the industry. In 2010, he founded Human Made, a brand centered on vintage-inspired, more mature designs. He later became creative director of Uniqlo's UT graphic t-shirt line in 2014, expanding his reach to a broader global audience. His influence crossed further into luxury fashion through collaborations such as a 2020 capsule collection with Virgil Abloh for Louis Vuitton. In 2021, Nigo was appointed artistic director of Kenzo, where he successfully bridged streetwear and high fashion. Today, Nigo remains a powerful force through collabs with brands like Adidas, Nike, and Levi's. His legacy extends beyond clothing. He helped define the modern hype-driven business model and played a central role in bringing Japanese street culture to the global stage.
So now that you got, a crash course on Nigo, and again, there's so much more to learn about him, right?
So much.
The fact that he did this, he did that. He was a DJ. He founded the shop Nowhere, right? Then flipped that into other aspirational things. Obviously, you know about Bathing Ape, 1993. You see it. You know that, he sold that company. You know that he then went to Human Made. He started Human Made, right? We know about all the other accolades that he did in between. I think when you talk about who's the new Nigo, it's not about someone doing exactly what he did, right? It's really about his level of influence and dominance on culture, right?
Right.
And that's more than just making clothes. That's more than just making sneakers. So here we are, is 2026, and you have all these, great designers, these creators, but I feel like some people just kind of created their own ecosystem to where they have such a mass following, or they've already created that perhaps they should be considered that. You know what I mean? And obviously, you got to give a shout out to people like Virgil, rest in peace, to him.
Right. All
We'll,
day.
we'll talk about him. Obviously, I don't think you can have a conversation about fashion and sneakers and influence these days without mentioning Ye, right? Just
Right.
the tentacles of all the people that he's kind of introduced is it's actually insane if you really think about it. But you and I both have our people that we feel like are the next. And again, let me just preface this by saying we're not saying that they're going to be the next, create the next Bathing Ape. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about people who have their own brands, their own ecosystems, and their own high power or influence over a lot of different areas. They cover a lot of ground, and they have true staying power. Excuse me. And that's really what we're trying to tackle today.
I mean, me personally, Nigo's a one-on-one. I don't know if you want to say, I can't even say generational because he's been here for over 40 years. I would have to say, he's just a pioneer in this thing that is streetwear. And, from, as you saw in the video, from a young age to the jewelry to creating a whole world. Like, he's another person who created a whole universe, toys. Like, he's the guy who collaborated with Pepsi. Who does that? With Campbell's Soup.
Right.
People just thought that, just clothes is just clothes and you sell clothes. He was like, no, we can make worlds collide. We can make toys. You can have various characters that live solely on clothes. But then he took those characters that live solely on clothes and turned them into toys. He even made people in the cartoons, the cartoon version of themselves, in his cartoon style. Shout out to Skate Thing, and put them on clothes as well. So it's just like he's a one-on-one. To be honest, to be like you said, there honestly isn't another Nigo.
Right. So don't get all upset.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So get that out your mind right now. But if there was another Nigo, these are the players that are the closest thing to him. So
100%, 100%.
Who you thinking? Right. Who you thinking? Or you want me to get into it?
I want you to get into it. Talk to me. Who you got?
All right. I'm just going to come out swinging. I'm going to say, as far as me, when it comes to someone who's created their own universe, I'm going to go with Jerry Lorenzo. The reason I say Jerry Lorenzo is because we got this thing called the eye test. And in fashion and in music, we have this thing called the streets. The eye test tells me that Jerry Lorenzo's running shit. The eye test, well, I can't say, I just said the eye test. The streets tell me that Jerry Lorenzo's running shit as well.
The suburbs would tell you that Jerry Lorenzo's running shit too.
The bootleggers would tell you that too.
That's right. That's right.
He started out as, I don't want to like break down his whole history, but he started out doing custom pieces for Justin Bieber. He started his own line. Big Sean was the first person to bring it to the forefront. One thing led to another. He too is part of the Ye crew because you know the Big Sean led into Ye. Ye got to him, put him under the wing. One thing
Right.
led to another. Here we are.
Right.
I will say when Fear of God first came out,
Mm-hmm.
I saw it as a Rick Owens ripoff. That were my initial thoughts on it.
Damn, that's
And as
harsh.
it is with the long cream or off white strings,
I
you
mean,
know,
but rip off,
the
that sounds kind of crazy because
how?
like it, yes, maybe the elongated strings, maybe the volume of the clothes, but I feel like he was doing something different than Rick Owens. You know, Rick Owens is very dark, very avant-garde. You know, Jerry was doing something different in
You
terms of
see,
having these flannels
he has
with the.
color now. He didn't have color like that back in the days.
I mean, very early on he did. Like when we talking about
Bro, this is
2011,
definitely Rick Owens' little stepbrother when they first came out. Even still
yeah,
now to this day on actual Fear of God. We're not talking about the essentials
but the
and the other
color
stuff.
palettes are different. But go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, and then you know, shoot, if you want to say that, I'm not gonna act like Ame ain't Ralph ain't Ralph Lauren's long lost cousin or little brother, whatever you want to say. Yeah,
I 100%
all
agree
right.
with
So
that.
that's my point. It's the same thing with Fear of God. But let me get back on the task. So he,
I
you
don't
know,
believe in that, but do your thing though.
yo, yo,
Do your thing though. Do your thing though. Do
yo,
your thing.
if you put on a Rick piece and you add a Fear of God piece, I bet you they won't look lost next to each other.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. I feel like they kind of live. I feel like they kind of live in their own two entities. Whereas like a Ame, you know, Ame, you know, they looked at Ralph as like pure inspirational. Like they
Right.
literally want to be the next Ralph. I don't think that was Jerry's intention.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just telling you what it looks like. I'm definitely not saying that was his
All
intentions,
right,
but
all
that's
right,
what he came out with.
all
You
right.
know, so he comes out with Fear of God,
Mm-hmm.
Rick Owens' little baby brother, wannabe baby brother. And, you know, as time comes on, he gets the contract with Nike. So now everyone's clamoring for, actually, I missed it. He does Vans. And
He
then he
does
gets
Vans
Nike.
first,
Yeah, he
and then
does
he's doing
Vans.
converts
And
around the
those
same
Vans,
time.
people wanted those Vans. Those Vans were hot. So then he
They
gets
did.
the Nike. People want the Nikes. Me personally, when he came out with the Nikes, I really didn't like the way that they looked on a lot of people's feet because people didn't have the clothes that matched those sneakers. So personally, when those came out, they looked stupid. A couple of people had the jeans, you know, that fit like his clothes, that had the zipper on the side. You remember that style?
Mhm. I remember that.
You know,
Yep.
yeah, people had that. Then some people had the Fear of God joggers, but as we know, most people had the $75 bootleg. But
Yeah, because
EP,
they didn't want to
EP,
buy the full
yo,
price joints.
but listen,
That's nasty.
EPTM ran the streets for a good. I almost want to say good. They ran the streets. Everyone had those. Did I have a pair? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But they ran the streets. And that goes back to what I'm saying. The eye test in the streets will tell me a lot. When I see the streets nowadays, I see the Fear of God hat, the F. I see random people wearing it, all
Mm-hmm.
shapes, sizes, and colors.
Mm-hmm.
Fear of God. When I look around, I see everyone rocking essentials, real and fake. Everywhere. I
Yo,
can't turn. I can't go a day without seeing it. You
and,
know,
and and by the way, I would say Essentials is probably the smartest thing that he did.
absolutely.
The smartest,
Absolutely.
not to
That's,
interrupt you, but probably
bro.
that's the money shot.
Bro, cut
That's
me off. The money,
generation.
what?
That's
Yo,
generational wealth right there.
I'm going to tell you this. I don't know who else. I don't know who else you're going to say. I don't know who else is going to be brought to the table. But as of right now, in my mind, out of all the businesses that we can talk about, I think that Essentials is the most lucrative one.
I mean, it has to be if you think about it. So it's funny because Essentials, when that was first bumming up, I remember a lot of people who I was close to at the time were like they were afraid to wear it, right? Because they felt like, oh no, this is the watered down version because it was sold at what like PacSun, right?
Yeah.
A couple other retail. I think that was one of the
Yo,
first places
yo,
where you
when
could find
people,
it.
when people say that watered down or, you know, they'd be like, yo, this is the subdivision or the sub brand. and all that. I don't care about that. Yo, listen, I wear dark shadow proudly. All my Rick don't gotta be main. I rock dark shadow. All the cargos, 99% of the cargo pants by Rick are dark shadow. 99% of the jeans are dark. I wear dark shadow.
But you know the problem. You know the problem is that people got to see 100,000 other people do it. They got to see their favorite celebrity or whatever wear, and then they jump on it. You know what I mean?
Then the rappers be knocking. The rappers knocking. They're like, "This ain't dark shadow." Yo, dark shadow slap, and dark shadow not cheap.
Definitely not.
You still going to buy some dark shadow pants? It's still $1,000. So what are we talking about? What are we talking
Rick
about here?
Running on you for that. It's like, I mean, it's like if you wearing Margiela versus MM6, you're really not saving any money.
Fact. But let me wrap this Jerry Lorenzo up real quick so we can get moving. But back to, like I said, he has the streets. The eye test tells me, and the streets tell me he has the hats. He has most recently he has the Adidas collab, Adidas hoops. You know, he was the head of Adidas Hoops Global. You know, so he has that going on.
So well, but you know, he was.
Then essentials. So it's like everywhere I look, I can't get away from Jerry Lorenzo, and he's created this world, and he still has his main line, fear of God. So that's why I feel like, as of right now, is the culture behind it like Nigo with a Baby Nate? Absolutely not. But as of right now, I feel like he's the one that everyone's throwing on. So who you got for that to follow up that?
Well, so real quick, I do have someone to follow with that, but I just want to kind of punch in a little bit with Jerry, right? Because, you know, you talked about him going to Nike, and that was, what, a 2017, 2018 thing?
Oh, yeah.
Right? But what a lot of people, they fail to, you know, remember is that Jerry was also styling Kanye for a couple of years, right? So you have to also take that into account. So he was the engine behind the reason why people started dressing the way that they did. And this is a whole different conversation, because obviously we're giving Ye his props when it comes to fashion musically. Obviously, he be on some other shit a lot of times, and we're not talking about that part of it, right?
Yeah.
We're just talking about the fashion and the music part of in the art.
Right.
That's all we're talking about. Right. So I get it. But he was the engine behind who Ye was, right? Who Kanye West was, really. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then even if you look at some of those early Adidas models that Kanye had, Jerry had a lot to do with that. Jerry had a lot to do with that design. So when you look at his Nike collabs that happened in, like, what, 2017, 2018?
2018, yeah.
Right, 2018. I feel like there's like subtle similarities, you know, between the two. So I just want to add that in there as well, right? And that just kind of goes to his influence. So even before Fear of God was really a thing, he was in the background, almost like kind of helping get people dressed, right? Because spearheaded things, right? And you know, you could say the same thing about Don C. I think Don C really helped, you know, Ye in a lot of regards in terms of how he dressed well. You know, there's a lot of unsung heroes, but we'll talk about those in a minute. But I definitely agree with you. It's hard to really argue against you know, Jerry, and you know, he did it differently. He did it differently. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right. So you talked about Jerry. We can't have this conversation, and I don't care how you feel about him, but we cannot have this conversation without talking about Mr. Kith himself, Ronnie Fieg. Ronnie Fieg. You really just can't have it, right? So you take a guy like Ronnie, who is not necessarily a designer, so to speak. Right. You know what I mean? Grew up working at.
His name?
I always thought it was Fieg. You say it's Fieg? Fieg?
I think it's Fieg. It's Fieg. Yo, I didn't heard. You know what? I've never got a definitive answer, but when I did Google it, it was F-E. They said F-E-E-I-G is how you should pronounce it. I think it's Fieg, but I've heard it 20 different ways. I still don't know what his name is, honestly.
All right, well, you know,
I don't know.
I'm gonna just say Ronnie. I'm gonna just say Ronnie.
We're gonna call him Ronnie because
we're gonna call him by his first name only. But you know, I think Ronnie has to be considered as one of those very, very influential people within fashion that's really changed culture, right? Whether he has.
How's he changed? I feel like he's cultureless.
Well, I would say that these days you can't walk around really any city without seeing Kith. And that doesn't just go for the US. This man has global shops. I want to say that he has roughly, was it 15 stores globally?
Right.
15 stores globally. He's got over 55 different collaborations with different brands. He pushes out product every week, right? He has collabs with literally every single sneaker brand that there is, right?
Yeah. You ready?
And he's the guy who I think kind of makes it easy for people to get dressed because they think it's cool and it's fly enough to just walk around with Kith hoodies, Kith hats. He's got partnerships with the Knicks, creative director of the Knicks, right? He's done, again, all these collabs with these different sneaker brands. Now you tell me why you wouldn't think that he's one of those ones that could be considered as like maybe the next Nigo. Talk to me.
I personally just think he's a good businessman. That's it.
I mean,
That's
shit.
That's it. It's like
He's
all right. He is the Bronny James of streetwear. He's the Nepo baby.
Whoa. Wait. Time out. He's earned his way on the floor.
I didn't say he didn't, but
That don't make any sense when you call him the
Bronny, because Bronny earned it. Bronny was busting ass all through high school and everything. But listen, this is my whole thing. Right? He got his original. Let me ask you a question. Even though he put it together, where was his original collab done at? The original Aces collab, where was that done at?
David Z. Which he did behind.
He did it. Like I said, but he's a good businessman. Like I feel like Ronnie uses his connections and does everything that he's supposed to.
Then why are you using that against him? Because he's a good businessman.
Because it's still cultureless. It's a lot of things in this world that are good business, but doesn't mean they have culture to them. All right, let me ask you a question. When you think of Nigo, right? I'm not saying you want to be him, but would you want to be Nigo? You don't think Nigo's cool? You don't think the person Nigo, you don't think he's cool?
To be honest, I wanted to be more like Pharrell back in that era than Nigo.
Right? All right, cool. Fine.
You know, so if we really having that conversation,
of course, all of us wanted to be like Pharrell during that era. Okay, but
right. Nigo was smart enough to be like, yo, like I'm gonna put you in front of it.
But this is my whole thing. He was cool. Nigo was cool. He turned Pharrell up. Not Pharrell turned him. Pharrell put his business. He brought Baven 8, the business. But as him being who he is, he's the one who was coming through like, yo, no getting icy. Pharrell was buying his little jewels, but he was like, nah, you got to do it like this. He brought that swag. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. A lot of things are hard for us because we're from America. Our heads are always up our ass anyways. We think everything gets everything cool for us. But I think for once, he brought the cool over here, and then we was like, oh, okay, and we made it look cooler. But he brought the cool over here, but that's what I'm saying. But Nigo is someone who's cool. If I wanted to be like Ronnie, I'd be like, yo, I'd be wanting to be like him as a businessman, but as far as the cool factor, I don't think he's cool.
Listen, maybe he don't have that cool factor, but I don't think he gives a damn. To be honest, I think that he looked.
I know that, but that's part of the allure. This is my whole thing. That's part of the allure of Nigo is the cool factor.
Yeah, but
being a Japanese guy with fronts, with big chains. Think about it. It's only one other person before Nigo, or I can either say before this, or I could say around this time that looked like Nigo, because Nigo looked like a rapper, and this is the first time we're seeing a clothing designer really looking like a rapper.
I mean, that's definitely
how one other person. Who's that other person that looked like him around that time? Let me see if you can pull the name out the hat.
Around that time.
It's only one other person, and even to this day, his jewelry game, because that's one of the things that made Nigo look crazy. It's only one other person to this day that even looked like how Nigo did.
Well, I mean, jewelry wise, I'd say Slick Rick.
Nah, it's not even a rapper. I'm talking about clothing. I'm sticking strictly on clothing. This person was a clothing person. I'm gonna tell you who it is.
Go ahead.
LRG owner and founder Jonas Bacavera. If people remember, a lot of people go do your Google. Jonas Bacavera looked like the younger American version of Nigo. The only thing is he just wore straight gold with ice, huh?
I said, you know what? I had to look him up again. But
yes, go look at it.
Right.
I'm gonna run some pictures. Matter of fact, now we're talking about Jonas. I'm gonna give you all a couple seconds. Look at these pictures. Look at these pictures. Look at him. This is him around this whole Nigo era. Bad thing is, before people really got hip to him, because LRG was booming. But he was one of those ones. But Nigo had a cool factor, from the cars to everything. You know, he's the one who brought this.
But you don't think. But see, just because you don't think that Ronnie's cool, that don't mean that there's not a whole generation of people that feel the same way that you do. Because I know people personally who look at him as being very, very aspirational, and that part is cool. Owning businesses is cool. Hold on, listen to me. Having shops across the globe is cool. Being able to say, I got to collab with every sneaker brand and I can literally do this whenever I want, that's cool. Being able to say, I got things coming out every week is cool, but I still have the best, the creme de la creme of brands within my store. That's cool. Saying, hey, I have Ronnie's, which is a cafe in the London Kiss shop, is cool. Saying that I got a Kith in Tokyo, that's cool. Saying I got a Kith on South Beach, that's cool. Saying I got a Kith in Toronto, that's cool. Actually saying, yo, he started from playing stockroom, okay, from Z, and then having his.
I got one for you.
Hold on. No. Let me finish. Because Ronnie also influenced a lot of things. Now, I'm not going to say that, he invented the jogger, but he definitely turned that process all the way up. It was kind of a before and after those Asics that he dropped with David Z, and he kept doing with the Gel Light 3, the Gel Light 3 collabs. Yeah. He takes a pair of pants. I think he got them from Scotch and Soda, gets them tapered, says, you know what? They show my shoe a little bit more. Then he actually makes his own pants and they sell out, and it gives him the idea that he can start his own brand. Now, listen, maybe himself, he's not the cool guy that Nigo is with all the change, but that's not who he is. And I actually respect that. He's doing his own. So how can you?
He's not cool, bro. Let me ask you a question. Who's the greatest point guard of all time? Who's the greatest point guard of all time? Who's the greatest point guard of all time?
The greatest who?
Who's collectively considered the greatest point guard of all time?
Magic Johnson.
All right, cool. Who as the all-time leader in assistant steals, which statistically will make him the best point guard of all time?
John Stockton.
And he don't look cool doing it.
But listen,
he's good.
Still a Hall of Famer.
He's a solid point guard. That's Ronnie Fieg. He's a solid point guard. He's not Magic Johnson. He's not cool. Cool means something, bro.
Yes, but you're not going to talk crazy about John Stockton.
I love John Stockton. I bring up that argument all the time. I tell people, I bring up that argument. He's an all-time leader. That's another thing, but I'm just trying to tell you, Ronnie is John Stockton.
He's
putting up numbers on the board, but he doesn't look cool doing it. That's it. I'm not knocking him as a businessman. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve all the accolades in the world. I'm not saying that. He's just not cool. And that's part of the lore of Nigo. It's cool.
I don't look up to him and saying that, you know what? He's in my pantheon of being one of the coolest guys to ever do it. But you got to respect his influence and the fact that he has been a part of this for a long time, and he hasn't fallen off.
Now let me ask you a question. So Michael,
all these other shops, listen, all these other shops are having difficulty, right? And I'm not hating on these places. They're in the red. They have these issues. Never a problem with him.
Yo, look,
Never.
you got Michael Jackson, right? You got Michael Jackson. You got Chris Brown.
You just don't like
Kanye.
Ronnie. Say that. You,
Star power. You can't say someone's the next Michael Jackson and they don't have no star power. You can sell all the records you want, but if you don't got star power, you're not the next Michael Jackson.
Shit. But go ahead.
Right,
this is low key some hating shit.
yeah, he Ronnie, man.
This is like literally.
I ain't not, yo, for the record, yo, I'm not knocking Ronnie as the businessman.
You are though. You are.
I just don't think
you are. For the record, you are. Like, could you actually be objective? Could you actually be objective here? You gonna wash away everyone?
I said he deserves all the accolades. I just said part of the reason about the part of the lore is Nigo is he is cool. That's part of the lore. Nigo's he's
That's
cool.
one part of it. But you can't be cool and not move. You can be cool and not move any units. So how cool are you?
Bro, we wouldn't be talking about. No one we're talking about don't move units. No one we don't talk to units.
Listen. Yeah, Nigo's cool because of his swag and all that. But it's about the stuff that he produced.
Right.
It's about the stuff
great product.
He made great product. And regardless, however you want to look at it, this is how people feel about Ronnie.
We live in an influencer era right now, where sometimes the people selling the product are bigger and better than the actual product.
That's true. And then other
Nigo was just as dope as the product, bro. He was just as dope with the product, and that's part of the reason that we got it. Yo, we never looked to Japan as much as we did before Nigo. Never. We didn't care about
it up. Him opened it up.
I'm gonna move it on because I could stay on this all day. I don't want to.
No, I know we get on your hating episodes again. You know what I mean? But go ahead, man. Go ahead. Damn. This is crazy. Like, you know what? I'm crazy because I'm like sticking up for Ronnie, but I'm just like,
I got someone for you. I have someone for you. I'm gonna show you what cool is. Clint is cool. He's cool.
I like Clint.
Does Clint make?
He's not there yet.
Yo, now he's not there yet. Does he make now? Clint, mind you, he started in 2017. This is when this whole thing started. Took the Alcatraz logo, turned it into something that everyone recognizes. The name, him and Nike had a court battle with the name. Obviously,
I bet you those kids didn't even recognize it. They don't know that. You think the kids know that? Do you actually think? No, they don't know.
They don't know that. But
they don't know that. That's some game.
That's part of the story. I'm breaking down the story. Okay, so he has that. Right. He has 2017. He created a community. And then he has guerrilla marketing, which he always did. And the thing about him is, this is a kid from London making noise in America, going on tours, crazy pop-ups, everything, collabs with Nike, collabs with Supreme. And he's doing it his way. He's not selling out. He's not compromising. He's cool. You see Clint, he's not doing too much. They asking Clint, you see Clint with the chains, they're like, yo, why you don't wear that? No, I'm not wearing diamonds. I'm happy to, like, everything. Someone he's himself on all levels, and at the same time, kids want to be like Clint because they can relate to him, and it's a cool factor to him. You know what I'm saying? Kids see Clint, they want to take a picture with him.
So you don't think people want to take a picture with Ronnie?
They probably won't even know who he was.
They know the internet.
Bro, I get to you right now. If Ronnie's walking down the street, most people won't know who he is. If Clint walks down the street, someone will stop.
I'm like, okay, that's
we do that stuff every single day, but a lot of people wouldn't. If they see Clint, kids are gonna run up to Clint and want to take a picture with him.
Maybe he don't.
I'm not saying that there's nobody who want to take a picture with him. That's all I'm saying. But Clint has this. And he's steadily building it. If you saw in the first episode, we talked about how he made over $50 million in 1 year. He's going to get there. He's just beginning. We're just seeing who Clint is. And, the sky's the limit for him. And then his pop-ups right now might be the dopest in the game.
Listen, sure. I do not disagree with you on that. I mean, me personally, I'm not about to go on a scavenger hunt for some 95s, but
I mean, we're grown men, of course not. We're past that.
Right,
that's dope.
But the fact that he got the kids doing it is insane. I mean, I think the dopest thing he did was shutting down the subway.
Yeah,
right.
OD.
I mean, that was
cool, man. Cool. fire.
Yes, let me just say this. The fact that no one from New York did that, but y'all let someone from London come in and do that? Come on. That's crazy. That's crazy that somebody from the city didn't do it first. That's all I gotta
Right.
say
Now,
about that.
hold on. A New York person was behind him to
That's
line that
true.
up. All right.
That's true.
Okay. Thank you. All right.
That
Don't get it
this
twisted.
is true.
Don't
This is
get it
true.
twisted.
Shout out to Bar. What's
Don't
up, Bar?
get it twisted.
What's up, Bar? What's up,
Yeah,
Bar?
what's up, Bar? Yeah, don't get it twisted.
Bar.
So
But
you got a
still,
point, but the point got a point.
the
So
point does have a point. But I already made my point. I stated my claim. I'm
I
stating
got
my
you.
claim. I'm
I
stating
got
my
you. But
claim.
yo, shout out to Clint. And please, people, everyone who you hear us talking about, if we tried to really elaborate on all these people, this would be a 5 or 6 hour episode. So please do us the favor of doing your own personal research on these people and definitely check out the brands that each one of these people have and support them all because they all do dope work. Everyone we're talking about does dope work and makes dope
They
product.
do.
So
They
please
do.
take your own time to research them and their brands if you don't know about them. If you
Go
do,
to the store,
support them.
you
So
know, go to
we're
the
gonna keep
store.
the ball. We're gonna keep the ball rolling, man.
All right,
Who you
man.
got?
What's up? What's up? No. Because you know, you introduced Clint, but he's not there just yet. I agree
No, he's
with
not
you.
there yet. He's not there just
He's
yet.
getting there. So just so we run it
He's
back real quick.
Anthony Edwards of the streetwear thing. Future MVP.
Wow. Yeah, I can see that. I think yeah, it'll be interesting to see what else he gets into. You know what I mean? I feel like he has to probably tap into a couple different areas to really like be
Yeah,
that like Nigo type. But I think he definitely has it in him. I mean,
yeah, all the
he
way,
he he,
all the
he
way.
definitely has that in him. All right, who you got? Who you got?
I remember I just did Clint. It's on you.
Yeah, but you don't even believe in Clint as being. I'm talking about someone who's actually on that level right now. You went
I mean,
Jerry,
if he, Clint, I
and
mean,
then I went Ronnie,
bro.
so I feel like that's not even
All right,
like.
so let me ask you a
You,
question.
hold on.
Out of everyone we're going to talk about, he has the highest ceiling.
Shout out to Clint, but I feel
He has
like
the
Clint
highest
is
ceiling.
honorable mention right now.
You
He
think
gonna
you
be
think
there.
he's the honorable mention?
I think he's gonna be there. I think so, but I don't
He's in
think
the MVP race. He's in the MVP race. That's just like Shea. Shea was in the MVP race for years before we actually won the MVP. We're not gonna say he's not there. He was there.
no.
It's just he's
Listen,
he's, he's on his way, bro.
we just talked about two people who have put consistent, significant numbers on the board for years. We're talking about people who have been doing this since 2009, 2010. That's where I'm at with it, right? Again, not
He's
hating
almost
on,
a decade in. He's almost a decade in.
right, but yeah, he's almost a decade in, but in terms of his like true impact, that's only been felt for
And
what
his marketing his marketing is
it's
next
only been
level.
felt for
Kids
the last
trading in jeans for jeans,
he
trading
is.
in coats
He's
for
getting,
coats.
he's getting there. He's getting there.
You
He's
know,
getting there. He's
who
getting
you
there.
who else do you have?
He's
You
getting
know,
there. All right. So if we're talking about up and comers or people who I feel like are right around the corner, why not Joe Freshgoods? Shout out to Chicago. Joe Freshgoods. You know what I mean? So this is a person who didn't have that stamp of approval from anyone, right? You know what I mean? Didn't come up under David Z, didn't come up in that Kanye West camp, right? And again, is a lot of people who came from under his umbrella who have done amazing things. Like we know how talented they are, right? But you're talking about a guy who was doing screen print tees, doing bootleg this, bootleg that, flip that into, his own brand, flip that into a partnership. He was doing kind of like brand marketing for Adidas. I believe he was with Adidas first, but that deal just didn't really manifest itself, didn't really work out. And then tapping in with New Balance, which I feel like, if you want to talk about the resurgence of New Balance, now let me just say this right now. New Balance has always been legit. If you're from the DMV, you already know. If you're from Philly, you already know. I know New Yorkers want to claim New Balance now, you know what I mean, in this new era, but it's kind of crazy that y'all didn't want to, claim it a couple of years ago, but that neither here nor there, right? But I feel like Joe Freshgoods came in and kind of turned it up from a New Balance because literally, we weren't seeing any of those black faces. We weren't hearing any of those authentic black stories. And this man tells probably the best stories through and through with all of his collections. The 992, that was the best shoe of All-Star Weekend back in 2020. This was the same year that Kanye had people throwing away their Fear of Gods, right, to put on the Quantums in the snow. But who had the craziest line? It was Joe Freshgoods. Tell me, what do you think?
Hell, let me ask you a question.
I got more. I got more on Joe.
Let me ask you a question.
Your look is crazy.
Let me ask you a question. Be dead ass with me. Can you go to your closet right now and pull out not anything that's by Joe Freshgoods that's not a pair of sneakers?
Actually, you know what? I got some Converse.
No. I said that's not sneakers.
Pants.
Huh?
I do. I do have some Joe Freshgoods. They're like kind of like warm-up pants from 2020.
You probably bought those on sale.
Nah, I bought them in the pandemic.
So you have one piece of clothing from them, right?
I do.
All right. I don't have anything by them. I don't have anything. I don't have sneakers. I don't have clothes. Do you know anyone else? Who else you know who got clothes by them?
I know a lot of people that got some clothes. Actually, you know what? I have a Joe Freshgoods varsity jacket. So I do. I do.
So when you walk down the street, when you walk outside, all right, we have the first people. You say Kif, right?
Mm-hmm.
You say Kif.
Oh, now you want to give him credit?
No. You say Kif. I'm saying you. You say Kif, right? You say you see Kif.
Ronnie.
You say you see Kif.
Yep.
You see Cortez, whichever one you say. You see it, right?
Right. Yep. But do you
see Fair Guide Essentials? What Joe Freshgoods do you see? You barely see the sneakers. You barely see the Joe Freshgoods sneakers.
No.
When you outside, when do you really see those, bro? That means I'm being serious. You can't say when you walk in Dover Street Market a week after they came out, or you go something. How often? Bro, I've seen the belly sneakers one time on the streets. When do you see Joe Freshgoods sneakers? I'm being serious.
I seen those pretty often, to be honest. Listen, I spent a lot of time in sneaker boutiques. Those 990 V3s that came out in 2021, a lot of people had that shoe.
Yeah, that was like the tip top of the whole New Balance era. But what I'm saying is, once again, it goes back to my point with the eye test in the streets. You think Joe Freshgoods has either one of those?
The eye test?
When you walk outside, forget the boutiques. When you're outside running the streets from point A to point B, how often do you see anything by Joe Freshgoods?
I see his footwear a decent amount of times. I do.
I need to start looking harder because I don't see it.
Yeah, I do.
And it be selling. What perplexes me is his collabs be selling out
every time,
almost instantaneously. But I don't see him. This isn't a knock at Joe Freshgoods. But this pertains to what we're talking about. But a lot of times with a lot of things, I see these collabs and they sell out, and I be like, well, who's wearing the sneakers? I don't see him. Where he be at?
I don't know. You don't be looking.
But the clothes, people don't rock Joe Freshgoods clothes, bro. They don't rock his clothes.
But you know what? I feel like he's starting to get more into that. You know what I mean? He has his brick and mortar. Well,
that's where he came from. His clothes.
Yeah, you're right. He came from clothes. But he also releases a collection with all his shoes too, right? And those do very well.
And you know what's so crazy about Joe Freshgoods?
They sell out every time.
You know what's so crazy about Joe Freshgoods? I think out of everyone that we're probably going to talk about today, he gets the flyest. But his clothes just don't be hitting. But he gets the flyest out of everyone I think we're probably going to talk about today.
I mean, he definitely. This could be a whole nother episode, but you don't see. He does wear his clothes a little bit, but typically he's not in them.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He gets the flyest, but I'm like, the product that he makes, clothing, don't reflect how fly he is. He is fly. He do his thing.
Yeah, he does. All right, but just let me just say this: I think he's one of those guys that's getting there. just like you mentioned, Clint, it looks a little different. But if we run it back real quick, yes, people want those 95s. People still want those Cortez Air Max 95s, but we don't see that many people wearing Cortez clothing out here. Now in London, I was just over there.
Yeah.
Yes, he's
It's a
got that
London,
on.
yes, a
He got
London
it on.
brand. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, we still haven't reached the point where you're seeing, Cortez clothing all over New York City.
But you can't buy it anywhere.
I mean, you
You
can buy
can't buy it
it.
anywhere.
You can buy it online. You can
But
buy it
that's
on.
not
He's
online.
at,
Ain't the same. Online ain't the same. Isn't the
out
same.
here. Out here, he's. I feel like he's had enough pop-ups to this point, right?
He's talking about opening up a retail store too.
Right.
He's
And you
discussing
can.
it. He says
But
it.
listen, at this point, it's not about, oh, you have a brick and mortar, you don't. Like, you can find the clothes. This is 2026. You can go on Grailed, you can go on StockX, right? You can go on. Hold on. You can go.
That's a lot easier said than done. Bro.
You can go. It is very easy. Point, click, buy, negotiate, buy. You can go on eBay. It's very easy. It's not like how it used to be where you actually had to go to the stores.
I mean,
that's when shit was hard.
I still like doing walk-ins and walk-ups. I ain't gonna hold you.
I mean, yeah, but that's how I feel too. But you remember back in 2005, 2006, the Babe Store, I can't even speak right now. It's so late. The Babe Store was so hard to find. In the city.
Why you say that? It was right on Green Street.
Shit, well, person like me coming from the DMV, I was like, maybe just because I didn't know how to get around New York.
Yeah, I'm like, it's right on Green Street.
But all I'm saying is that it was not easy, to get Babe the Nate. You know what I mean? Back then. Because
it all depends on who you knew. Yeah, it all depends on who you knew.
Yeah, who you knew or whatever. But you knew people, so you were able just to go and get that.
Yeah.
But these days, I'm like, yo, if you want that, so I'm just saying, like, again, like, I like Clint a lot, but more stuff has to grow. So the same things that you want to knock Joe Freshgoods about, you should be doing the same thing with Clint in terms of his clothing. That's all I'm saying.
No, I said people wear his clothing. You say he got London on lock. Joe, what does Joe Freshgoods have on lock?
I think telling black stories. I think his footwear, the fact that he's brought a black face, black representation. Hold on, give me a second. He brought in black representation to New Balance, who desperately needed that.
So he made it better than Teddy did.
I think they did different things. You know what I mean? Teddy had the 550. You know what I mean? Like that just blew up. You know what I mean? That was like kind of out of this world for 2.5 years. I feel like that was just straight, domination, so to speak. But I feel like, you can't tell the resurgence of New Balance without mentioning Joe, just like you mentioned Teddy with it.
All right. Who else you got? Or you want me to say something?
No, it's your turn, man.
This guy's kind of a tricky one for me because it's almost impossible for him to have the so-called streets, but he is definitely a mainstay and he's definitely done his work. I'm going to go with Telfar Clemens. I feel like we both like him.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've had plenty of discussions about him.
And he did it so differently.
Yeah, and he took a different route. And the thing about him is, if you know anything about him, he unapologetically represents the gay community. And he by far, has that on smash. But he created the Brooklyn Birkin, which plenty of women have.
The Bushwick Birkin.
The Bushwick Birkin. My fault, pardon me. Yeah, the Bushwick Birkin. That plenty of women have. A dope bag for $150. What they go to
not just women.
Yeah. Just men. Well, I don't know any guys, but yeah, like I said, gay community probably has it.
It's not about who you know.
And he has and he got different sizes. From small to extra large. Different price points, selling out. Converse collabs. He's just his own little TV network. He's done a lot, and his clothes are dope.
Didn't he do Eastpak as well?
Eastpak.
Yep.
He's done like a lot, and it's just, you know, he's another person who I say it's hard to walk outside and not see one of his products. He's another one.
Yeah.
He's
I
been
mean,
doing it for a while, you know, and he's aligned himself with Shane Oliver. You know, they've done things together. Like
mm-hmm.
he's there. He's there.
Yeah.
He's definitely up there with them
Yeah, you know, and
in
it's
his own
funny
lane.
because he doesn't get the credit that he deserves.
Not at
And
all.
also has had the brand since 2004.
Yeah.
Do your research. You know what I mean? So
And he got the Tevin
they
Campbell logo.
right. Um and you know, so funny story. Do you know how that logo came about?
You know what's great? I read it. I read online when I was doing my research, and I was like, man, I read that, and I was like, man, he stole the Tevin Campbell logo, man. He ain't telling me nothing. But go ahead and tell the people, for the people at home who might not know.
Truth
Go
be
ahead and tell them.
told, he got that logo from being in school, right? His teacher designed the logo for everyone's first and last name, which I think is pretty dope. You know what I mean? I
Right.
would definitely want to show up to at least that class every day. But he was like, yeah, I literally remember that logo, and that's what it became. So I don't know if his teacher out there knows what's going on right now, she or he. You know what I mean? Yo, like I hope Telfar, you know, broke him off with a, you know, with a nice, you know, chunk of change or whatever. But I found that to be crazy. Other thing is, you know, Telfar, I mean, what he also designed the Liberian um Olympic uniforms back in 2021. That's crazy.
So you
Yo,
not about to tell me this is not the Tevin Campbell logo. I don't care what his teacher talking about.
all right,
He got
maybe
the Tevin
no, he
Campbell
should have
logo.
said he did. Yo, listen, don't do this because see now Tevin Campbell, because you know Tevin Campbell be watching our podcast and shit. You know what I mean? So like now
Yo, come
he
on,
gonna
bro.
he
Don't do
gonna
this
be like
to
he gonna be
me. Can we talk?
can
Can
we,
we
like,
talk?
can we talk for a minute? Can we talk for a minute?
Oh
Oh my
man,
god! But
this teacher made it all right. But yeah, my
yeah,
fault.
yeah, yeah, man. But nah, I think you're right about that. Um, I mean, yo, Telfair, he did a collab with Kmart.
Woo.
He
R.I.P.
designed
Kmart.
he designed White Castle uniforms.
Fire,
That's wild.
fire.
That's wild.
OD.
He literally took a different approach where he's like, you know what? I don't want it like I am fashion, but I want it to be for everybody.
Right.
And sometimes when you do that, you know, you may not get them accolades, but
And that's
to
another thing
me,
that he's. You know what?
mhm,
I'm glad you said that. He's fashion is for everyone. He's another one of those people. I think so far out of the people we mentioned, I think him and Clint are the two people who have created this thing called community. I feel like he's created community.
I agree. I agree.
You know,
100%. 100%.
so I think that.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, we don't have any arguments there. Okay, so far we talked Jerry, we talked Ronnie,
Hmm.
calling him the John Stock, which isn't so bad because John Stockton's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's
Wh-
a
wh-
fact. First
You can
ballot.
you so so
First ballot.
so
First ballot.
Ronnie
Yeah,
Ronnie done a lot. He gonna be there. He
absolutely.
actually he's
He
you
could,
know
he could retire
he,
now.
he could
Okay,
walk
still
right in
making.
there right now if he wanted to.
Yeah, I'm not
He could
denying
he
that.
he could pack it up right now.
Yeah, I'm not
You know, then
denying
we
that.
talked about you could say up and comers. You know, you feel your way about Joe Freshgoods. I like Clint a lot. I don't you getting a little hot over there? You good? Getting you know getting a little you all right?
Yo, for the people at home, these lights be cooking.
Yeah, they do,
They be
man.
bright and cooking. But
I don't
continue
know.
on, my guy.
I'm doing that's why I'm saying hydrate over here.
Yeah, exactly. I got the Gatorade. Oh man, I
Yeah,
wasn't supposed to say that, but
I don't even know what brand that is. What are you
right.
talking about?
Yeah,
Who's that? Yeah, never mind.
Gatorade.
All right. So in any case, Tremaine Emory.
Mm.
Tremaine Emory. Tremaine Emory. Denim tears. Denim tears. That cotton wreath. That cotton wreath, man, is all over the place. So much. See, this is when you know you got something good. When you have people who are wearing the bootleg version proudly.
He loses
Freely.
a couple. Now that is
I'm just starting there.
That's part of the streets. Go ahead. We're gonna get back to that design.
Punch in.
He loses points for that because that's not his design. So he loses points for that. He wasn't
okay. Well, you know, so it's interesting. All right, so if he loses points for that, if he loses points for that, and as much as I appreciate Nigo, but Nigo got the whole ape thing from Extra Large, which predated Bathing Ape, that also used apes. Look it up.
But let me ask you a question.
All right. No, I'm just saying. So I don't know.
How he? All right. Well, hold on. Extra Large used a monkey as the logo. The way the ape was used was different. It was completely different.
Yeah, because Nigo put 1,000 on and made it into like a camo. So, but that's exactly what it was.
But it's not.
That's exactly what it was.
It's not to this extent, though, bro. It's not to this extent.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
I'm not saying anything, but keep going on about Tremaine.
Clearly, you aren't.
I just say he lose a couple points because that's not his design. That's all. His hottest design is not his design. Even if Nigo took the Air Force One, even if he did, he still created plenty of pieces.
Air Force One. I'm just talking about
the ape.
The actual ape.
I mean, 1,000 people use cross. We can say Chrome Hearts. They didn't use that cross first. 1,000 people used it, but you know what I'm saying. It's a different. You know what I'm saying, but
we're gonna go up against biblical.
Go ahead, Tremaine, because we getting on topic. I just say he took a couple points.
What are you talking about right now?
I mean, you talking about people didn't use the ape. I'm like, yo, Extra Large used the ape, but it wasn't def. That and Nigo was Planet of the Apes. The way he used it was completely different. Tremaine, literally, that's the same design. You just take Noah off of it.
Nah, man. Pull that up again. Because that's definitely not a cotton reed. That is definitely not a cotton reed.
If you put this on someone on the street, they're not going to tell you, "Oh, that's not a cotton reef."
I mean, if they're not a part of this, then they probably would say that. But come on, what year was that from?
I want to say the Cure was like 2016, 2017. I forgot. Let me see. 17. Yeah.
And look, if we want to go there, then there's a lot of designers that really.
But I'm just saying his hottest piece.
If you look at Off-White's logo, there's Walker wear, and I'm just leave it at that because there's a whole lot of game within the game. You can look that up.
I know about April Walker.
So I know you know about it, but the people, not everyone knows about it. I know you know about it.
Right.
I know you know about it. Right.
But what about the logo? What about the logo of her?
If you're gonna discredit that, then we got to just look at a lot. The
Off-White logo is literally from a plain book.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So I don't hear you discrediting him for that.
But Virgil has too many designs. His hottest design isn't something that's not his. And he's shown us enough. And he's had too many designs. Like people wear Off-White or were wearing Off-White, people wearing Louis and stuff. He showed us that he can do it. I think Tremaine can, but I just say he loses a couple points because I'm not saying he stole that design, but I'm just saying his toughest design to date, even though I think he makes pieces that are better, but they don't draw the hype as that piece because kids are always looking for the hype piece or whatever, but I just say he loses a couple points because that hype piece, in my opinion, is something I already seen.
Man, you just discrediting guys, discrediting people tonight. But you know, that's
Like
cool.
Tremaine, shout out Queens. What you talking about? Big Queens.
I don't know. Well, then
Tremaine, if anything, I should be harder on Tremaine on anybody on this list. Just because he's from Queens, and I expect more from him. I should be the hardest on him.
I mean, listen, he's doing his thing. I agree with you
Absolutely.
though, because he has other things that will release every week that are that's I mean, his cut and sew, the ways surpass
Listen,
the detail, right? But
yeah,
you know what? It's gonna take because people still want that.
yeah,
So he's gonna provide them with that. But it's just like a Supreme drop, right? Every single week within a Supreme drop, you're gonna have the item, right? Okay, they collab with North Face or they did a collab with Wu-Tang. In that same drop, they'll have salvaged
yeah.
denim, right? They're gonna have sweaters, they're gonna have certain jackets that you can wear again and again. There's so many times where I've worn some and people are like, yo, where'd you get that? And I'm like, it's Supreme. They wouldn't believe it.
So let me
They
ask you a
wouldn't believe
question.
it.
Outside of the cotton reef, right? Outside of the cotton reef, once again, please take Dover Street Market out of this. And when we go there, and all the people you see in there, take them out. Dover Street Market's an anomaly. You know what I'm saying? Besides the cotton reef, what pieces of denim tears do you really see in the wild? What other pieces do you really see? Like, he makes great pieces. Like, I'm talking about great pieces, like jeans, jackets. He makes great pieces. But I feel like when people go to the store or they think about denim tears, the only thing they think about is the cotton reef. Sort of kind of going back to CDG when we're talking about all people think about is the heart. And I'm like, that's like the bottom of the barrel. That cotton reef is literally like the bottom of the barrel for denim tears. But that's the most thing. Like, I feel like Tremaine, I don't know what the next piece is, but I personally feel like I wish people would dip more into his collection because he has great pieces, but they just all keep looking for that. You know what I'm saying? But he's another person who has the streets.
But here's the thing though, like if you go on his website,
Yeah.
he is selling out these collections that have nothing to do with cotton reef. You know what I mean?
I don't go by websites. I'm gonna tell you why I don't go by websites.
Okay.
Because I'm not saying he's not. I'm not knocking him at all. I just don't go by websites because I'm gonna tell you one thing. I done seen brands do it. Brands will be like, brands will make 100 t-shirts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they make 100 t-shirts and they sell 56, and they're like, it's the end of the day. Put it sold out, and they'll put sold out. So now the kids are like, get it, it's sold out.
So
People do
you
that,
don't,
and then they'll put it in the store or something like that. So I'm just saying in general. I'm not saying Tremaine does that. I don't pay websites any
that's
attention.
exactly what you're saying. If I say that you can go online and see that a lot of these products are sold out, and then you say that's exactly what you're saying. Just admit to it. State your claim.
I said I don't pay attention to websites saying it's sold out because they all do that. I don't pay that attention.
Yeah, look, here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to knock someone for having something that worked and continues to work. Do I agree with
Doing
you? Do I agree with you that there are other things that he offers that are far superior to the cotton reef? Absolutely. People just haven't caught up to it yet. But you know what I mean? I just like the fact that he hasn't just said, yo, I'm going to just stay and live in this moment. Yeah, he's going to still serve that, just like every season you're going to get some of those like statement pieces from whatever brand that is, right? But
like Tremaine,
I think that the stories that he tells, but it's not even just the clothing, man. I mean, he's got a level of influence, no vacancy in, right?
Yeah, I was about to get to that. I was about to say, he's establishing culture and community. He's one of those people. But he's another person who establishes culture and community. Another thing about Tremaine is
work with Kanye as well.
Yeah. Another thing about Tremaine is he might be too cultured. I felt like when he was at Supreme, He was the perfect person for the job, but I felt like he was just too black for them, and they just didn't understand. Now, do I think the whole story about the kids with the slave, he wanted to put out the slave shirt? Do I think he should have put that shirt out? No, I don't, because
But also, James Jebbia should have known what he was getting himself into by bringing on someone like him in the first place,
absolutely,
right?
absolutely, yeah, he should have, absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
like what?
So I wish he was the perfect person for that job. I wish he would have kept that, but you know, like I said, sometimes sometimes our ideas, our ideas as black people in America, sometimes they're just too black for corporate America. Because at the end of the day, you said it last episode, things are different when you got a meat market, when you got $1 billion company behind it. So it just is what it is.
And also the Supreme of today, it's not what it was back in 1994. You
No
know what I
way.
mean?
Not even
There's no
close.
way. Listen, when you got mothers lining up, you know what I mean, or pretty much anywhere, right? Anywhere there's a Supreme store, either here or globally. I was about to say Lafayette Street. They're not on
Yeah, man, that's
Lafayette.
that's way back in the
I
day.
know. I was about to say Lafayette.
Yeah,
Bowery. Now they're on
yeah,
Bowery.
Bowery, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have a different type of audience that's coming in there. They're like, ooh, I don't know if we can, because we're so far out there right now. You know what I mean? But I think things actually worked out the way they should have, because I think what would have happened if Tremaine had stayed as Supreme, I think it would have been him probably wanting to make that work so well that maybe he put some of what he was leaving for Denim Tears into Supreme, right? I mean, people want to say Supreme's cool, is not cool. I don't care. I still wear Supreme. I don't care what anyone says. You know what I mean? Is it looked at as it once was? No. You know what I mean? And partly just because it's more available, and you know what that's about. People's like, oh, when it's more available, I don't want it. You know what I mean? But whatever. I still feel, which is a whole nother conversation. We could talk about sneakers about that all day long. But I think that a piece of him, too much of him, would have been given to Supreme, and it probably would have been to the detriment of Denim Tears. So I don't like the way like things ended
Yeah.
necessarily. Overall, I think it was the best. The universe has like a funny way of doing things. You know what I mean? I think that that situation taught him a lot and allowed him to say, you know what, I got everything I need.
Yeah, I believe.
Actually,
Yeah,
actually don't need Supreme.
right.
They needed me. They
Right.
needed me. You know what I'm saying?
You just hit the thumbs up, so
I
now it's
know, no,
up
I
on the
saw that.
screen.
I saw that.
He got his turned on.
I saw that.
Yo,
But yeah, man, Tremaine to me is one of them ones, you know what I mean? No Vacancy, obviously done collabs with New Balance on his own namesake. Certainly art director at Stussy, even before.
yo, I remember I couldn't make it out to London. I emailed him. He sent me the Stussy, the Stussy ASAP Mob Boiler Room tees. I had a whole bunch of those. Yeah, he hooked me up. I got the email to this day.
The guy, you know what I
Fact.
mean?
Stussy London, he was the man.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So definitely shout out to Tremaine. The collab with Levi's.
Yeah,
The
see,
collab with
that's what I'm saying.
Levi's.
He make dope.
Partnership. Actually, not a collab, a partnership. Because that
Yeah,
was
he
for
makes
probably
dope.
like 2.5 years.
Yeah, he makes
Two and a
dope.
half years.
Yeah,
You
Tremaine
know,
makes dope pieces.
dog, the storytelling that he
Yeah.
does.
But I think his storytelling means something to you and nothing to half of these people who wear it, which is sad because it's a great story. But like I said, it's too cultural. A lot of these kids who wear it, they don't know the story, or they don't even give two shits. I ain't gonna hold you.
I mean, a lot of them don't even know what the cotton wreath represents.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like storytelling that's going over people's heads.
But how many people are wearing stuff that they don't know who made it? They don't know the inspiration behind it. I mean,
Of course,
this has been going on. I mean, how many people don't even know the whole idea of a bathing ape? They don't know that Nigo stands for number 2.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But see, that's why we're here.
right.
That's why we're here.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's why we're here to kind of, peel the curtain back, you know what I mean, and be like, hey, actually, this is what this represents.
Right. Absolutely.
And I hope you all enjoy this. You know what I mean? I hope you all enjoyed this.
Hope you learned something.
Hope you learned.
Um,
We could be going on for a long time. You know, some of the people said they like a long episode. I don't know. Man. I don't know.
we're gonna see. I'm gonna just keep talking. I'm trying to think who else. Who else? You have anyone? I'm thinking off the top of my head if it's anyone else I have. I'm sure you got some more people. Who else you want me to flame up?
Um, yo,
Since you say I'm being hard on people today.
no. I said you were being a hater. Is what I said. You know
I'm
what I mean?
definitely not a hater. I can back up. I can back up
All right.
everything I
No,
say.
no. I'm not saying that you can't back it up, but I'm like, damn. You know, a couple of the Ronnie shit was crazy
I didn't
because
say he didn't do like
you made,
you keep running.
you made it. No. You made it only about the fact that you didn't think he was cool, which is insane
Well,
to
I
me.
said that's one of the things that's the part of the allure of Nigo. If we're not talking about, all right, let me give you an example. If we were talking about who's the next,
We said that we're not looking for someone
no,
to be
him, I know that, but listen, no one can ever be him. But that's
Right.
part of the lore. Creating a scarcity, creating a thing. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. If you would have said, who's the next Ralph Lauren, and you would have said Ronnie, I would have been like, yeah. Even though we know it's not gonna be one, just how this whole thing is, I'd have been like, yeah, Ronnie. And I would have never brought that point up. Ever.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that Ronnie is the next Ralph Lauren.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you don't look at Ralph Lauren as someone, you don't look at him as someone to be cool. He's just a brand. That's my whole point. So I'm saying because we're talking
People
about
do actually think Ralph Lauren is cool though. I think there's a lot of people who actually do think that he's cool though.
I didn't say that people don't. I said people aren't looking for him to be that. They're not looking for him to be that. They're just looking at him as a designer. That's it. If they think he's cool, that's because a lot of people don't even know what he looks like. To be honest with you.
It's true.
That's what I'm saying, but I'm just saying people aren't looking for him for that. Where Nigo is like one of the few people in fashion that people were actually looking at.
Well, he
Because
has
he's
such,
aligning himself with the rappers. He's in the videos. That's what I'm saying. He was cool. Ronnie's not that. That's all I'm saying. I ain't never knock anything he does. That's it.
right.
That's why I said if we were talking about Ralph Lauren, I'd be like, I would never have made that point.
All right. Well, who else you want to talk?
I think it's a lot of honorable mentions. One of them I want to say, from a personal standpoint, is Bari, but I don't.
You gonna go there? But I like it. I like it.
Bari or Young Lord, whatever you want to call him. I didn't even have him as the next Nigo, but it was a point where he had the culture on lock. He had the streets, he had the community. It was a point in time where, you walk down the street, you couldn't walk down the street and not see a V-Lone logo on someone's back.
True.
When he did that sneaker, that was crazy. And I don't like the fact that, you got to remember, he was young. He got into a situation when he was young. He had a couple dickheads around him that's recording that shouldn't have been. And unfortunately, something got caught that was never meant to be seen. And then people turned something that I personally don't think was that bad into something. And you got guys out here like Gosha. You got guys out here like Tom Sachs. You got guys out here like Alexander Wang that when something happens, they go like this.
Yep. It was on tape though.
Come back and nobody says anything. But this guy, because it's I don't want to take it there, but this guy, because of him, now people want to blackball him, and he got all the talent in the world. Now,
He does.
Now, you know what I'm saying? And that's like, it was one point when you was a rapper, if you dropped the album, he was doing all the merch. You go online and you buy all the merch. Who else is doing that? And I don't like the fact that they blackballed him because he should be there. And the thing is, I don't see him as another Nigo. I saw him as another Virgil. When Virgil passed, I just knew that off-white job was for him, but they don't give it to him and they give it to the African kid. And I'm just like, damn. you know, and it gets me upset because all eyes are on him, whether he knows it or not, because he gets in a fight. DJ Academics covers it. Who bigger in hip hop than Academics? He gets in a fight. TMZ covers it. Who big? TMZ, come on, we know what TMZ is. One of the largest media outlets. They cover it. So the eyes is on him. The eyes is on him. I saw him, like I said, as another Virgil, as a Mark Jacobs, as like he could have reached that. I went to the V-Lone show in Paris and I saw it firsthand, and I'm just like, whoa, he's doing it. He's doing it. He's supposed to be one of those ones. And it's like, if he has 3 million to his name, I feel like he should have 12. If he got 12 million to his name, I feel like he should have 48. Like, he's just not where he should be. And I wish that sometimes, you got to understand that sometimes, like I said, this is personal. Sometimes when God gives you certain talents and he puts you in certain positions, you have to accept everything that comes with it. And sometimes some of those things that come with it is turning your back on situations. No one thinks you a punk. No one thinks you a pussy. But you know what I'm saying? No one thinks he's a punk. No one thinks he's a pussy. But when you're in certain positions, you have to turn your back. You just have to. Because that's what comes with this. That's the responsibility that comes with this. And he should be in front of almost everyone in this list. Instead, he's just somewhere in the middle. But he should be in front of everybody. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
You know, Bari's dope. You know what I mean? Like that's just the bottom line, you know? But, you know, unfortunately, especially with us, you know, we don't get those second. It's very rare that you're gonna get second chances in this.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that they ain't give him a second chance. I don't like that because if he wasn't what he was, he'd get another chance.
I mean, clearly.
Yeah, I don't like
if
that.
you look at Tom Sachs, if you look at Tom Sachs, right? I mean, there's some very foul things, whatever that were written about him that his own employees have said about him.
And I'll say this too. I don't like how people kicked him when he was down.
Bari, you talking about Bari?
Yeah, I don't like how people kicked him when he was down. People should have just shut up and just let it, you know.
That's the internet,
be
though.
what it is, but
that's the internet, though. You know,
absolutely.
Be behind the keyboards, behind the screen, you know, talking all that when they probably have 20 V-Lone shirts
right
in their closet.
Right.
Probably, no, actually, half of them fake. Half of them are fake. You know how much fake V-Lone I've seen?
Oh, my gosh. But that just tells you, once they bootlegging it like that, that just tells you. Got the street.
That's what I was saying about Tremaine. That's what I was saying about Tremaine. That's what I was saying about Tremaine. You know, when they bootleg your shit.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I mean, and just to double back on Tremaine, Denim Tears has only been around since 2019. Only been around since 2019.
That's absolutely not true. Who said that?
Look it up.
Bro, I have Denim Tears shirts that's older than that.
So when did it start? When did Denim Tears officially come out?
Hold on. I got Denim Tears shirts that are old. Hold on. We're about to look at this. Hold on. It says 2019. Hold on. Denim Tears. What year did I was out in LA? Denim Tears times
2019.
Hold on. You're right. You got me on that one. I know I got shirts that's older.
I know I'm right.
When is this shirt? I'm trying to figure out what it is. Hold up. What year is this? This is 2018. Look. This is Denim Tears in 2018. I have this shirt. It's right there. I have that shirt. Just the Volan shirt. This is Denim Tears.
2018. Okay.
No. It says founded in 2019, but I'm telling you, I have Denim Tears shirts that's older than that. So that's why when you saying 2019, I'm like, what? I'm like, I bought shirts before 2019. So I guess maybe in 2019 it officially came a brand, but this shirt right here says 2018, and I have this shirt. You want me to go grab it? Huh?
No, I believe you. I believe you. I believe you.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I didn't
All
know
right,
that.
so 2018.
No, I'm saying it's. It might even be something earlier than that, but whatever. But
Well,
yeah, whatever.
the
Who else you
point
got?
is that,
Yeah,
the point is that he's just getting started and it hasn't been around that long. You know
right.
what I mean? That's the point I'm trying to make. Regardless if it's 2018, it's 2019, whatever. If you
Yeah,
want to say that you had one in 2005, you know what I mean? I don't
yeah.
know. You know what I mean? Go ahead. But, nah, man. I think I'm good. I think I'm
So you
good.
good? You
I'm good.
good?
I'm good.
I
I
was
think I'm
waiting. Yo, you know who? I'm gonna just throw this in here because I feel like I'm gonna do this even though whatever. Just because we didn't mention any women, and I think that we should say somebody. I just wanna throw this one person in here, and we can end on this person. I'm gonna see. It's a woman. I just want to see if you can guess her name. I'm gonna see. Give you a couple seconds to think on it. Maybe I
Martine,
might put. Maybe I should add the Jeopardy music in the background.
Martine Rose,
Nah,
Martine Rose.
she's just a good designer. That's it. She's a great designer. She should head a house. She should head a major luxury house one day. But that's about it.
I mean, a lot of people thought she was gonna get one of those jobs, and she
She
didn't.
will.
But it's
Yeah,
still,
no.
it's still
Yeah,
right there for,
it'll happen to her.
right there for. Wales.
Nope, not her. These women. Those women are just good designers. There's no community. There's no culture. There's no like. It's like no following. It's just you just buy their clothes because they make solid products and great products. And like I said, I could see either one of them being the head of a major house. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. You
All
still
right,
ain't got it?
who? Go
Who?
ahead.
Yoon.
Go.
Yoon.
Oh, ambush.
Yoon. Yoon. Louis Vuitton collabs before anybody. She worked at Dior.
Mm-hmm.
She did collabs with Bulgari, with Sakai, long-standing relationship with Nike. She's been in the game over a decade, and she's still going, and she's fly as hell. Another
She
one,
is.
she keeps making solid product, and when her stuff comes out, it's out of here, and people still wear Ambush. Ambush has been around for a long time,
It
a
has.
long time.
I just don't know if it's Yeah, I mean, listen, I have
It's a,
nothing negative to say about ambush or Yoon, but
Now the thing about Ambush, right? The thing
I
about
don't,
Ambush, back in
I
the
don't
day
know
when they had the little
if it's
power
like
rings,
I don't know if it's out there quite like that. You know what I
another
mean?
Ambush is out there like that. I remember Lil Uzi. I don't know if he still feels this way, but at one time he said it was his favorite brand. I doubt it's still his favorite brand. But the thing about Ambush is, and some of these brands is they do extremely well in the Asian markets and not in the U.S. But you'd have to be deep into fashion like ourselves to know that. Like for example, Alexander Wang. He got into his little conspiracy or whatever, controversy, conspiracy, whatever you want to say. And he did one of these. And then he came back and America was like, so he ran to the Asian market and he's doing extremely well over there. He doesn't even need the US market. Because I said to myself, I said, how's the store still open in Soho? Because he makes all his money in the Asian market, so he just he can still pay the bills over here. So sometimes that's what happened. So with Ambush, it's one of those things that, in the Asian markets love it. Over here, it does, has its sales in certain places. It does better than
Yeah,
others.
it's certain
She has
places.
a lot of she always has the Nike collabs. Every year we see something with her to collab. They had her bring back the up tempo. All types of stuff. The low
Which
top
is a weak
version.
collab.
She did the low
Which is a
top.
weak collab too. I hated that joint.
Yeah, I didn't buy
I
it.
hated that. I mean, you know what? That's harsh to me to say, but I guess I said it. But like, I didn't feel like anything was
Why's
was
it
was being
harsh?
added to it.
Why's it harsh?
I just like you didn't. Nothing really got added to that. I was like Wilson.
They just made a low
Like,
top version. She
it
brought
was,
back
it was
the
like,
well, I can't think about it. I wore the joints in high
I know,
school.
I know, I know,
With the
I know, I
removable
know.
straps. Yeah, she brought those back.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't
Yeah.
think of the shoe.
Those didn't really do that great. Those didn't really perform that well, but she brought them back though.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, they collected dust at retail, but
Right.
but you know, they were brought back. Just because you bring something back, it's got to do well.
You know.
You know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah.
just saying. Like and Nigo had the Air Force 3, right? He
Right.
just released his last two colorways, and it's a very niche shoe, right? You're really threading the needle with that. It's
And
a
it goes,
very it's a
and that
very
goes back to what I've been saying.
it's a
Sometimes,
very small audience that is gonna get it.
mm,
And I feel like, you know, but that's what he wanted. That's what he wanted. And he can do that, right? He can dictate that. He can go to Nike and be like, yo, I want to do this. And I'm sure
right.
they were excited that, you know, they had Nigo, right? After all these years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
So, it is
you
what
know,
it is.
so yeah, you know,
We
yeah,
can't live
listen,
on that.
listen. I like Yoon, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of it's very within the fashion community.
Mm-hmm.
That's where, you know, and yes, like we love this stuff and we're around it and all that kind of stuff. But I'm talking about it like a larger scale. I don't really see Ambush really in that
You're
conversation.
talking about
Like
ambush. I'm talking
any,
about you.
okay, yeah, well, sure, but she's attached to that. She's attached to that. But her accolades are amazing. I think she's an amazing
It's all
designer.
right.
And
Pharrell
she got
still
great
owns.
style.
Pharrell's still
All
part of BBC, but don't you look at Pharrell as his own entity?
yeah, absolutely,
That's how I look at
absolutely.
Yoon. She's her own just entity. We know she does ambush, but I still look at her as Yoon. You know what I'm saying? Virgil had
I don't
all white. He was
I
working at
don't
Louis
think you
Vuitton, but you still saw
is
Virgil
as influential as any of the people that we named though.
because we're not,
That's
bro.
what I'm saying.
She's definitely is. We're not Asian women, but she is. And
I
she's
respect.
been here for years. What other woman? Think about it. What other woman can you say has really been? I don't want to talk on her too much, but what other woman can you say has been doing it for as long as her? Think about it. With Nike collabs, it's not Vashti, it's not Alayli May, it's not
What
Tiana
I don't even
Taylor,
know if I can
it's not.
pronounce
You
her
know what I'm
name.
saying?
Definitely not. Come on, man. That's crazy. The fact that you even say that, the fact that you even, and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. So excuse me in advance. Chito Sabe, from Sakai.
Yeah.
I
But all
would,
right, now look. She makes Sakai's
I
a
would,
great brand. Nobody. This is my thing. Nobody knows her. They don't know her. We know her because we're into fashion. They don't know her. If I go
well,
to
no, you know, like I mean,
a
like,
lot
and
of people know Yoon.
I'm just saying, like,
A
outside
lot of
of
people know
the
Yoon.
fashion world, outside of the fashion world, would you say that Yoon is a mainstream
I would
name
say
at this
I would
point? Answer that question first.
overseas. Yes, she's married to Verbal. Overseas, yes. Shitos Abe, even overseas, someone wouldn't know
Okay.
who she was. They still wouldn't know who she was. They just know Sakai. Yeah, they know Yoon. If you're in Japan, absolutely they know who that is.
I would
But
say they're probably like this, you know, but
no. Someone, this would be
I would say
Yoon. This would be
so
Shitos Abe.
I have it the other way around.
No one knows. Yo, Marcus, she's the lead girl in the LSD video. People don't know Shitos Abe. I can go to 10 people and say, yo, you ever heard of Yoon? They'll be like, yeah. You ever heard of Shitos Abe? No. No one knows
Maybe
Shitos.
okay,
Bro,
so maybe you get three people. I might get one.
you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. They
All
don't
right,
know. They don't
all
know.
right, okay, all right. What
But
else?
I mean, you know,
What's
that
up?
brings
No,
us to the
no.
last segment of it. I'm hoping
Um,
you have something this week, unless I'm supposed to do it again. But you know, as always, man, as I said before, always, if it's something you want to let us know, sometimes it might be me, sometimes it might be you, could be Gatsby this time. I don't know. But now's the time to get something off your chest. You got anything for us?
you know what? I don't. I
You know what?
don't. I
All
don't.
right.
I would
So
just no.
I'm
I'm
gonna,
gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you
all right,
go.
here we go.
I'll get
All right.
next time. I'll get next time.
Well, I'm about to get this off my chest.
Go ahead.
Get it off your chest! So I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet. I just say to people out there, never ever in life walk around with a heavy heart. Never ever walk around with a heavy heart. And learn to forgive. A lot of people need to learn to forgive because sometimes not forgiving can block your blessings. And like I said, you just carry around a heavy heart that you don't need. I used to always wonder to myself, why is it that, family members, when one of their family members gets killed, how they could forgive the killer? I was like, why do they do that? And then it's like, it's because just carrying that on your heart can block your blessings, and it's just a lot to carry. So, like I said, this one's short and sweet. Just learn to forgive people, whether it's minor or major. There's nothing wrong with forgiving them and not dealing with them, but just learn to forgive. And I think if we just did that as a people, the world would be a better place, and we see a lot more people walking around with a smile on their face. That's it.
All right.
I didn't overwhelm me with that one, did I?
Listen, man. You gotta get it off your chest.
I got it
How
off
you
my chest.
feeling? You know what I mean? I know that
Yeah.
That meant a lot, you know what I mean? And I'm sure a lot of people will hopefully like really internalize that.
Yeah, facts.
So I thought it was a great message, man.
All right, with that said, make sure y'all like, make sure y'all subscribe, make sure you follow, make sure
state your claim.
State your claim spelled. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Don't worry, I'm gonna put everything on the screen at the end. So please make sure y'all comment. And with that said, you know what I always say: if you like something, you're dick riding. If you don't, even he proved my point this time, you're hating. With that said, do you?
Yep.
Gatsby?
You already know. It's always a pleasure.
Always.
All right, this has been State Your Claim, y'all. Peace. Love.
Always. I'm out.